Hi everybody and welcome to You're an Asshole. Today I have a ton of things I want to talk about. I have a very long list of things that I've been wanting to discuss. I recently had surgery, so I've been whacked out for the past 6 weeks. Hopefully I will be discharged tomorrow by my doctor and I can get back to normal. Feeling a whole lot better. I tell you what, I have realized that I'm not as strong as a lot of women out there. They go through all kinds of things and they pop back no problem. Instead, it's been a while for me. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Haiti. And the reason I want to talk about Haiti is several days before I went into surgery, I had a conversation with God. And I said, if you want to prove yourself to me and that you exist with all the evil and the horrible things that go on in the world, why don't you just demolish a few brothels, like 1,000 brothels in a day? Well, after I had surgery, in the middle of the night, I woke up, I turned the TV on, and I saw one of the recovery centers for the children who are survivors of sexual exploitation and human trafficking, children that have come from the brothels. The first thing that I saw when I turned the TV on was one of the places where they bring the children for recovery was in shambles. I turned the TV off because I thought, what in the world is going on? That can't possibly be right. A little bit later on, I woke up again, turned the TV on, and I was just in shock. Haiti went down. I didn't have a problem with Haiti going down. And it made me realize that if you want something to happen and you want to fix one thing, there are a whole lot of other things that have to go down before you can. It just proved to me how hard you have to work to make change. 100,000 children a year are trafficked through Haiti. So no, I don't feel sorry for Haiti. I don't feel sorry for anything that happened there. I mean, if that country's never going to change until the government is changed. So here comes George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all these superstars who want to get in on the publicity. And let's do a big charity ball for Haiti. Well, I'd like to know where you guys were before the earthquake hit Haiti. Where were you the days before when several people had been telling everybody Haiti needed help? Wycliffe, that man is amazing, and he has been trying his hardest to get help into Haiti for his countrymen. Nobody listened to him before the earthquake, and now all of a sudden Oprah's going to put him on her show. Why wasn't he on her show before? This is all about publicity. Those guys don't care about Haitians. All they care about is getting their face on the TV screen as often as possible. Where's all the money that they collected? Where's all the money that they collected for anything they've done in the past? People are still starving in Africa. They're still starving in Darfur. People in New Orleans, right here in our own country, are still living in FEMA trailers. Just recently, I was driving through Lafayette, which is not far from where I live, and there are a ton of FEMA trailers for sale to the public. They had formaldehyde in them at one time. So now, instead of our government making money off of these trailers that they put in for Katrina, individuals are making the money off of them on resale. Your tax money is going to private individuals selling these FEMA trailers. That's exactly where your money's going. And that's exactly where it's all going to go anyway. All the money they sent into Haiti. And they did that song, Save the World. How much did they save the world from the first song that they sang? It's all about publicity. The real people that are working on the ground and doing things for people, you're never going to hear from them. Hopefully, you'll send your money to the right people. The Haitian government, like I said, allows 100,000 children a year to be trafficked. Recently, they arrested several missionaries who were trying to bring 33 children out. Well, all of a sudden, they just catch missionaries bringing 33 children out? Again. Publicity stunt. That's what that was. It was all about the publicity for the Haitian government to look like they care and they're doing something. But we have 100,000 children a year trafficked through Haiti. That's not a joke. That's a pure 100% statistic. And it happens. So be very, very careful about who you send your money to when you're doing stuff for Haitians. 100,000 children a year in Haiti, through Haiti. And they were the number one human traffickers. So now I'll tell you what I thought about it and how I felt about the earthquake. You may think I'm insane, but they got with, until the government changes, nothing in Haiti's going to change. And it is horrible over there after the earthquake. But the bottom line is we should have been in Haiti before the earthquake, not after, where all the superstars are just doing a publicity stunt. And that's all it is. Especially right now when they have awards coming up. Oh, it's big time. It's perfect for them. It's disgusting. So anyway, what else I wanted to talk about is I recently watched a fantastic documentary, Born into Brothels. They were showing the brothels in the red light district in India. And let me tell you something. They raise their children in those brothels. You wouldn't believe how horrible their lives are there. Those poor children. And what's even worse is the government looks at these kids that are raised in brothels as if they are trash. They're not allowed to register for schools because their parents are criminals. And these poor children are raised. It's horrible. So let me ask you to do one thing. Born into the Brothels. It's going to air on Friday the 26th at 9:55 a.m. And it's also going to re-air at 5:30 p.m. on Friday the 26th on the Sundance Channel. If you don't have the Sundance Channel, then I'm going to ask you to go to Born into Brothels. It is actually what you want to go to is kidswithcameras.org. kidswithcameras.org. When you go to kidswithcameras.org, you can buy the DVD from Born into Brothels. I'm going to post that in just a minute in the chat window. I want you to see the addresses that you can go to purchase this DVD, and you can see these children. Of course, this was filmed in 2004. The children are older now. But there was a statement that was made by one young man that is riveting. And I thought I wrote it down, sorry. So let me pick it back up. I want you to hear what he said about taking pictures. So what they did is, on the show Born into Brothels, this young photographer goes into the brothels and she's working with the parents. And then she gets real attached to the children and she teaches them how to use cameras. A 13-year-old boy says, I want to show in pictures how people live in this city. I want to put across the behavior of man. I want to put across the behavior of man. A 13-year-old boy. A 13-year-old boy. Born into the brothels. You know, I am a big opponent about doing things in the United States. Protecting our children here. Feeding our hungry here. But in the United States, we don't have children born into brothels. There's not a whole city that's red light district that's just for prostitution. You need to watch Born into the Brothels. It was absolutely fantastic. Hats off to the creators, because not only was it fantastic, but the great thing about it is that it seemed to have a decent ending. I mean, there's a couple of kids that came out of it with a life, which is shocking to me, because I've seen all the documentaries on these kids that are raised in brothels or human trafficked or all these horrible things that happen to them. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. But here in the United States, we have our own problems. I'm going to get to those in a couple of minutes, but I really wanted to press on what's going on in the other countries. India is horrible with prostitution and children being prostituted. So my thing is, anytime that you're shopping and you see something that's really attractive and you pick it up and you see it's made in India, don't buy it. Don't buy anything that's made in India. And stop sending your money to Haiti. to the Haitians. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to help them. And if you don't get the proof of that, go to New Orleans, right here in your own country, and see how much money's been poured in there, yet nothing has been done. And the problem with that, it's not so much that the money's not there, it's that the people are not there. There's not enough people to make the changes. There's not enough people that care to make the changes. There's not enough people to go do the construction work, to rebuild the houses, and to do the things that they need to do. For Katrina, unfortunately, white people, black people, whichever, up to a higher standard, don't want to do labor. So all the Mexicans are in New Orleans now doing all the work. And everybody's screaming and hollering about the Mexicans doing all the work and all the illegals there. But guess what? There's nobody else to do the work. There's not going to be any changes unless they're allowed to do the work. People just don't want to do labor anymore. Why doesn't anybody care about humanity? That's one of the places that I'm lacking understanding, is why people do not care about humanity. Makes no sense to me. Okay, so we've covered Haiti, and really you need to see Born into Brothels. If you don't get a chance to see it, at least go to kidswithcameras.org. It's fantastic. And look at some of these wonderful pictures that these children have taken of what they're living in. It's going to make you sick. If it doesn't make you sick, then you don't have a heart. You're a sick individual anyway, so nobody cares about you. I don't care about you. If you don't care about kids, you don't have a heart. And let's see. Oh, I wanted to press on while we're on foreign countries. It's so funny how we scream and holler about what's going on in Darfur and Africa and the starvation, but yet we don't talk about the starvation in Russia and the Soviet Union and in those countries. And I mean, I don't want to sound the way this. Okay, this is just going to be what it is, like it or not. We concentrate on these countries where blacks are, but we don't want to talk about starving white people. And there are whites in Russia and Soviet Union, and they're starving to death. And it's getting worse and worse because food has gotten so expensive, and their nutrition levels are low. Why isn't anybody doing a charity event for them? Nobody ever talks about helping the Soviet Union or helping the Russians. It's like, what? I mean, what's the difference? Are they really our enemy? Oh, I think the Africans are our enemy because they're not doing anything but taking your money. The government's never going to change, and that's where it needs to be. They're just going to keep sucking that money up and laughing at us. And if you think they're not laughing at us, you don't know anything. Every dime and every charity show that gets done, people are laughing at us all over the world because they know better. They know that that money's not going anywhere. They know that in order for change, the government has to spend money on its own people. They have to put in roads, and they have to put in water systems, and they have to do all the things that human beings need to survive. They're not going to do it. They make too much money off of these rebels and these criminals that go out and do things. In fact, in the red light district in India, they know it's there. They know exactly what's going on, but they cover it up because half the cops are visiting in these red light districts, and it's the same exact thing in the United States. It's not really any, I mean, I'm blaming it on India, but we do this. It happens here in the United States. They cover things up. But let me get back to Russia real quick. Russia and their human trafficking and their brothels has tripled over the past 20 years. So here we go. We have a country that nobody's paying attention to, where people are starving. The human trafficking is increasing, and the brothels are tripling. That's definitely something we should be paying attention to. And I don't know why we're not. I'm going to pay more attention to it. I am definitely going to pay attention to what goes on in these foreign countries. For one of the reasons, I mean, I want to focus in on the United States, but 25% of the human trafficking that goes on in other countries is done by U.S. citizens. And one of the larger portions of people that participate in it are military. And I am the last person who wants to dog out the military, because I have a son that's in the military. He fought in Iraq. But we cannot deny the fact that our U.S. soldiers are participating in these brothels in foreign countries every day. There's statistics to prove it. Go to ecpatusa.org. ecpatusa.org. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. The statistics and the numbers are there for you to go look at on all the things that go on the things that go on in Russia, and the things that go on in Haiti, all of the human trafficking. That's a great place to get your statistics. And if 25% of U.S. citizens are going abroad to have sex with children, you may even know somebody. Because when you break the numbers down, that's a couple of people, a few people a state. 50 people a state, 52 people per state. And if you spread them out enough, you know somebody. That's somebody that's in your neighborhood. That's somebody that's right down the street. So coming into the United States, human trafficking is unbelievable. Now they take little girls right out of the neighborhood. If you haven't seen Slaves of the Suburbs, you need to get it. Get the DVD, Slaves in the Suburbs. Look it up, watch it. It's going to blow your mind. They're taking children right out of the schools, right out from under our noses. It's insane. And they are selling them, making tons of money a week off of them. My whole thing is, I think that if you get caught pandering a child, selling a child, human trafficking, sexual exploitation, it's 3 strikes automatically. You go to jail for life. Death sentence, actually. I'd like to see them gassed immediately. I don't think they need an appeal system. I don't think they need to be forgiven. They need to go to jail. Just like the polygamist, which I have spent a couple of shows on polygamy, and I still want to talk about it because it drives me insane. I just can't believe that we're a country of strong people and we have polygamists here. That every single day, young girls, nobody's there to defend them. Nobody's defending our little girls in those camps. They can't play with Barbie dolls. They can't make their own decisions. Their freedom of religion, their freedom of speech, all their rights are completely taken away from them. Yet, we do nothing. I am going to be putting a nonprofit organization together over the next few months, and I will be doing something. If you're a polygamist and you're living in a polygamous camp, you need to look at this face, because you're going to recognize it when I show up on your doorstep. We're going to stop you. It's going to stop. If I have to buy all the property up around you and park some illegal aliens, I'm going to do it. We're just going to put a bunch of Mexicans in around you guys and see what happens. I don't know what else to do. How do you stop them? Our government doesn't care. And you know what's crazy is we scream and holler about people on welfare, food stamps, Mexicans taking jobs. These rich white guys that have 10 wives and little girls, they're living off your tax money. That's exactly what they're living off of. They don't have to pay taxes. And then they get all these grants and all these religious things that pay for everything they have. So they're laughing at the rest of us. Ha, ha, ha. They're laughing at you and they're laughing at me. So we've talked about Russia and Haiti and different nations. Here in the United States, you know, people have got to see things. If you're driving around and you're on the road a lot, truck stops. I've actually had conversations with truckers, and they've actually told me that they see these things. And I'm always like, if you see it, what do you do when you see it? Do you try to stop it? Do you make a fuss? Do you call the cops? And I get no out of them. So I am definitely going to be checking out these truck stops. I am going to be doing some crazy things in them. I will be videotaping. People will be in there undercover, videotaping everything that goes on in these truck stops. And we're going to be putting them on Ustream and YouTube also, because we want everybody to see what's going on. Everybody's going to be watching. My organization, we're putting together Save Them Now. Save Them Now. We haven't gotten our website yet, but it is Save Them Now. That's going to be our nonprofit organization. If you're interested in backing our organization, just send me an email, and I will send you information on how to get a hold of me, and we can talk. Especially if you know corporate people who want to spend money on an organization that goes out and educates people about human trafficking and sexual exploitation. Let us know. We've got a great group of people that are going to be working with this. I I have actually, in a very short amount of time, 20 minutes, gone over the things that I wanted to talk about today. Again, I want you to watch Born into the Brothels. It's going to air on Sundance. It's going to air February 26th at 9:55 and 5:30.